What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone had a blessed week. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Niner Faithful Radio. Today, we have to break down the second loss of the season. Another thrilling heavyweight title, last minute battle that went down to the end. There was a stat going around that the Niners' average margin of victory has been 17.2 points a game. And now we have lost 2 games by a combined total of 6 points. So we are 2 field goals away from being 12-0. I mean, the Shikos game I kind of chalk up a little bit more just because, we had opportunities in overtime and all that. But, we obviously had opportunities in this game, which we'll go ahead and break down. But before we get started today, I would like to remind everybody you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Blueberry, TuneIn, or CastBox. Please subscribe, rate, and review. It really, really helps the show out. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and also the bell to get all notifications of all our video uploads so you don't miss a single video. And also, while you're at it, give the video a thumbs up and comment. Let us know what you thought about the show or any general comments that you have. Visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com to read all our blogs from Nothing But Niners and Sports Elite. Get the show notes to all episodes. Listen to all interviews with former Niners. Watch This Date in Niner History and see all our advertising and sponsorship packages as well. That website again is NinerFaithfulRadio.com. You could also shop Niner Faithful Radio Shop for officially licensed gear from shop49ers.com, NFLshop.com, Fanatics.com, Target.com, eBay, and much more. Go ahead and visit Niner Faithful Radio or like us on Facebook and Instagram at Niner Faithful Radio Shop. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into a couple of notes that I wanted to do before we get the show break up. I thought this was pretty cool. But with Marcel Harris' forced fumble in the third quarter, it marks the 4th straight game with at least one fumble recovery. And it's we've done the 7 through 11 with the Week 9 bye in the 2018 season. I thought that's pretty cool. So we're, again, coming up with ways to win games and starting to look like the last time the Niners were vying for championships. So that's obviously a really, really great thing. This is another little interesting note. For the second time since the merger in 1970, the Niners had 300-yard different rushers in the season. The first time since 2005 when Frank Gore, Kevin Barlow, and Marquise Hicks did it in 2005. That takes me back to some Niner names that I haven't heard in a while. Definitely cool to see. And the last little tidbit I got is in 54 seasons since the first Super Bowl era began, this is only the fourth time in that 5 teams have 10 wins through week 12. So pretty much having this many teams be 10-2 hardly ever happens. That's pretty much half the NFL seasons that hasn't happened. Pretty much. It's crazy. You figure this is the 100th NFL, and it's only happened, well, I guess since the Super Bowl era, so it probably happened more since the Super Bowl era. Also, Kyle Shanahan had a press conference yesterday, or I should say more of a conference call with the media yesterday. And out of it, as far as injuries are concerned, is DJ Jones is day to day with the ankle sprain. Richard Sherman is day to day with the knee sprain, which Kyle Shanahan said that based off the way that he was moving, if it was anybody else but Richard Sherman, he would rule him out just by the eye test. So that doesn't look too good. Jaquaski Tart is day to day with a rib fracture, and they said it's just merely a pain tolerance. As we know with Emmanuel Sanders, it is something that you can play with. So they said they'll reevaluate him on Wednesday and see how that. And then Julian Taylor has ligament issues in his elbow and is likely out a couple weeks, maybe more. He also gave an update on Dante Pettis, Matt Breida, Joe Staley, and D Ford, and said he's optimistic about Matt Breida, Joe Staley, and D Ford joining back this week, but we'll be surprised if Dante Pettis is available to play this week. Okay. I think, yeah, we'll go ahead and get into this too. Also, I guess, little thing going around is I've heard a lot of Tevin Coleman hate and a lot of Raheem Mostert love. And I went ahead and found this stat. I was unable to find Tevin Coleman's, but I know it's below. But Raheem Mostert leads the team in yards after contact. He has 3.9 yards after contact. Matt Breida has 2.67 yards per contact. So I think that we could all agree that Matt Breida is our best running back. I'm starting that maybe Raheem Mostert is number 2. And of course, I've just read off how this is only second time in team history that we've had 300-yard rushers in a single game. So I would calm down with the Tevin Coleman sucks narrative. I think he just has a different type of skill set. And his skill set wasn't really faced for this matchup. It was a better matchup, obviously, for Raheem Mostert. I think that being able to ride a hot hand, this is our running back and going to the thing that pay dividends for the Niners, let's just say going on into December and maybe into late January. Maybe even early February. Who knows? So just third downs, the Niners were 4 of 12, which is 33%. And their season low. And Baltimore was 3 of 10 on third down, their season low. And would also, on fourth down, they were 2 of 3, and we were 1 of 2, which is pretty much right about where we were for season average. Baltimore, though, it was a little bit less. And I think the biggest killer and difference in the game, from a statistical standpoint almost, is the Niners had 6 penalties for 54 yards, and the Ravens only had 3 penalties for 23 yards. I distinctly remember there was a roughing the passer day that was absolutely garbage. And I'm not going to say that cost us a game, but a game that was decided at literally the last play of the game, I think it's very hard not to point to any thing that led to points. And yes, that includes Jimmy's fumble. But just real quick, we want to go ahead and go over our Twitter poll or Facebook and Twitter poll of the week. The question I had was, who gets the game ball of the week for the Niners-Packers game? Twitter was heavily in favor of George Kittle, 78% to 22%. Eric Armstead, pretty much the same thing, 72% George Kittle, 28%. I don't think I disagree with that at all. But, of course, to participate in our weekly poll for prizes, each week on Facebook and Twitter, we will have a question. All you have to do is like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter and vote in the weekly poll. And then winners will be contacted via direct message or Facebook Messenger weekly. Good luck, everybody. Okay, so I think I would start off with the defense this week. I think the defense played phenomenal. I mean, that's pretty much looked like so many Niner games this season where I don't want to say the defense kept us in it, because I personally don't feel that the offense wasn't really playing bad. I think they didn't take a advantage of a few opportunities. And I mean, yeah, there were some plays the defense gave up. I'm not saying it was their best game of the season, but I mean, I'll preface this by reading these statistics and ask you, the faithful, and I'll give you my opinion on if you would have told me this is how the game would have gone defensively. Baltimore had 8 drives total in the game. The first half, they had 4, which went punt, touchdown, which was Jimmy's fumble, touchdown, which was the longest drive of the game at 13 plays, 65 yards. And then pretty much besides the touchdown, their only points came off of long sustained drives. And then field goal. Second half, fumble, punt, downs, and then the field goal, which led to the game-winning points. If you would have told me that that's how the game would have gone, I would have took that all day, every day in a heartbeat. This is where I really think that it focuses on how well the defense played. We held Baltimore to their lowest points total of this season at 20 points. 4th fewest rushing yards at 178. Second 4.7, sorry. Running without Jackson was 73 yards on 26 carries for a 2.81 yards per carry attempt. Biggest play we gave up was a 20-yard touchdown. I mean, I don't see – if you would have told me that the Niners did that, I would have said that we would have pretty much won the game. I mean, I would be very disappointed, and I am very disappointed we didn't lose the game. But to break it down even more, I want to say Lamar Jackson, well, obviously he won him the game, but I don't feel like he did anything to really break our backs, except for the last drive. I mean, yeah, he made a few plays throughout the first half and everything like that, but there was no point where I felt, oh, my God, we just have no answer from Lamar Jackson, and we stand no chance in this game. I mean, the first half, we gave up 57 yards on 8 carries. He had 8 carries each half for 7.125 yards per carry. And he was 8 of 14 for 62 yards passing and a touchdown. I'll take that. Well, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 passing. His second half, we held him to 44 yards on 8 carries for 5.5 yards per carry average, and he was 6 of 9 passing for 43 yards. His lowest passing total of 105 yards of this season, and his second most rushing attempts, third lowest completion percentage, lowest yards per attempt. I mean, that's winning football. I mean, Fred Warner, beast of a game, 11 tackles, 8 solo, 2 passes defense, 1 on third down, one that last one could very well. Anybody who knows me and the show knows I'm a huge Dre Greenlaw fan. He does give up some in pass coverage compared to Quan Alexander, but I definitely think that he is it's not as much of a drop off as everybody thought. And in a couple years, I could easily see him being a starter and being a star on this defense. Maybe not a star, but a solid starter. Marcel Harris in 29 snaps had 5 tackles, 2 solo, and a forced fumble with the fumble recovery. I mean, did that almost seem like I remember when I was watching the game with the 408 at Blue Chips. I literally was yelling, this is the point where we take this game over. I literally thought that was just the way we were moving the ball. I thought it was over. I thought we were just going to take over that point of the game. I literally thought that we were going to take over that game and score a touchdown right there, and then pretty much that was going to seal it. I mean, not completely seal it, but it was going to be down. His 105 yards were on 23 attempts for a 4.56 per attempt average, his lowest of the year. Defense played phenomenal. The offense. Now, this is where I think a lot of the faithful get torn as far as how the offense played. I personally think that listening to a couple podcasts and different people that were at the game, they said that the TV didn't do justice with how bad and how miserable it really was out there. And to me, I want to say this is obviously not Jimmy's best game, but the duress that he was under, I believe I read something like Jimmy was blitzed 21 out of 27 dropbacks. I have his exact numbers against the blitz right here, but he was 15 of 21 overall for 165 yards and 1 touchdown. He was 12 of 21 for 149 yards, 1 touchdown with 2 sacks when blitzed. And he, of course, had the 1 lost fumble. So, to me, I call that a good enough game to win. I mean, if I pretty much think that it really came down to that 4th down call. I'm not so much against the decision to pass the ball. It was pretty obvious that that's what we were going to do because we were gashing them. What I was against was having him throw out, at least have the threat to be able to keep Baltimore honest and prevent them from essentially doing what they did, which was just have the defensive linemen put their hands up and bat the ball down. So I really think that the game came down to more of Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, exactly, Kim. How you doing, Kim? Good to see you again, of course. Exactly. I mean, I think he played well enough to win, and I think Kyle's more at fault than Jimmy for this game, which we'll go ahead and break down in a little bit. But so, matter of fact, let's go ahead and get – we'll finish up with the rest of these. Raheem Mostert, I do not give Kittle Corn MVP of the week during losses, but if I was going to give one, it would obviously be him. 19 carries, 146 yards, 7.7 yards per carry, and a touchdown that made Earl Thomas look ridiculous. I loved it. I was going nuts with Raheem the Dream. Made Earl Thomas look absolutely, totally Ridiculous. Killicorn, not his best game as far as pass catching, was targeted 4 times, 2 catches for 17 yards. I wonder that includes the last fourth down play. I'm assuming it does. Debo. I mean, can we get a Debo, 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 Debo? I mean, Debo's slowly starting to become my favorite Niner receiver on the team. I mean, Debo is amazing. That ball, let's be real. It wasn't a great throw by Jimmy. It wasn't even probably really a great play call. But it's what we didn't see in the Seattle game. It's what we didn't see in the Seattle game, where our receivers made a play for Jimmy. And that's why, one of the reasons why I thought we were going to win this game, because I was like, look at Debo. Debo went and made a play for Jimmy. And that's all you could ask your receiver to do. Quarterback laid it out there where only his receiver could get it. And Debo made a play for his quarterback. Now, I heard some Raven fans were bitching and wanted offensive pass interference. Hey, look, tell Marcus Peters to play the football, and he probably does get that offensive pass interference call. But Debo was amazing. He had 4 targets for 2 catches and 41 yards and 1 TD. Emmanuel Sanders, solid game, really showing the great veteran presence that I felt we've needed all year. Was targeted 6 times, highest targeted receiver, targeted 6 times for 4 catches for 41 yards. I really wish he would have stayed on his feet for that 1/3 down that actually led to, and this was either the play right before Jimmy's fumble or the punt. But I believe that, it was the punt that led to their second touchdown. I really feel that Emmanuel Sanders stays on his feet, that's a first down. Maybe Jimmy could have threw it better, but it was raining. So I think he ran the route a yard short of the sticks. He needs to run that 2 yards past the sticks and be able to come back for the ball, i.e. like Russ Dwelly. KB proved that he's a mutter yet again. 3 targets, 3 catches for 42 yards. Amazing. Mike McGlinchey, highest rated pro football grade, focus grade of his career, 88.9, did not allow a single pressure. And Brunskill allowed only 1 quarterback hurry in the game. So I thought this was important to go over the 2 drives that I've heard most people talk about that maybe had cost us the game. The first, which is being the last drive of the first half. Now the Niners come out. They have 2 timeouts, and they get a penalty. George Kittle catches a pass for 11 yards. It's called back for illegal block in the back, which is a total ridiculous call, but it is what it is. That set up 1st and 20. Now, all you people that were complaining that he didn't go for the tie against Seattle, all the people that said he should have ran the ball and drained the clock and not give Russell Wilson the ball back, you're 1st and 20. Your chances of converting a first down or scoring on that drive are significantly reduced. So you run the ball first down, you get 12 yards. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, 12 yards. 8 yards. 8 yards. They let the clock drain on 2nd down, take off the 40 seconds. He was not expecting Raheem Mostert to get 16 yards on that carry. And I think that kind of was like, oh, wow. We got to get down and score, and it threw everything off. And I personally, everybody says that ball was blocked. If you watch Robbie Gould, he hesitated before he, made the approach to the ball. And with that, plus the low trajectory that the kick had to be on, I think we're enough to get the kick tipped, blocked, whatever you want to call it. So I don't necessarily blame Shanahan for the first one in the first half. I think, you light up for that field goal. You think Robbie Gould makes that field goal, and you're like, okay, we're tied going into halftime. If you would have told me I would have took the Niners being tied at halftime all day, every day, I would have considered that a win. I could, of course, consider it a win only being down by 3 points, which is essentially what we lost. So, you could make a bigger case that more than the fourth down play, missing that field goal was probably one of the things that most cost us the game. Now, I will agree with people, but I'm going to go ahead and break down some stats to see what Kyle may have thought. Okay, so going in to that final drive, Jimmy was 3 of 6 passing on fourth down with 2 touchdowns. So you got a 50-50 shot of completing the pass. Baltimore comes out and stacks the box. I'm not opposed to even though, yes, okay, it would have made sense to run the ball and find it's your strength. We're a run-first team. I had no problem with Kyle passing the ball. I just wish he would have been able to do a play action or at least give him somewhat of a threat that we were going to run the ball. I mean, I think that probably right there cost us the game. But I didn't even feel that going into that point, it had cost us the game. I thought we were going to get the ball back. I mean, Baltimore hadn't done anything that half. A punt, a fumble, and a turnover on downs at that point in down. There was no reason to think that the defense wasn't going to stop them. So, also, I wanted to go ahead, and I think it's about time that we have a discussion about Robbie Gould. I mean, I love Robbie Gould. I have actually his stats right here for his 3 years with us. So in 2017, 20 to 29 yards, he was 7 of 8. 30 of 39 yards, he was 11-11. 40 to 49 yards, he was 17 to 18. And 50-plus yards, he was perfect at 4-0. 4 for 4, I should say. 2018, he actually improved. He was 9-9 for 20 through 29 yards. He was 13 for 13 and 30 for 39 yards. And 9 of 10, 40 to 49 yards, and a perfect 2 for 2 for 50 yards. So there was no reason to think that Robbie Gould was going to slack off this year. Now, it's clear that he's struggling. And it's not – he's perfect of 7 of 7 from 20 to 29 yards. Where the significant drop-off is everything beyond that. 30 to 39 yards, he's 5 of 7, which is his lowest. 40 to 49 yards, he was perfect last year. 2 of 4 this year at 50%. And 50-plus yards, 0 of 4, including the one of halftime. So I think Shanahan going into that final drive on that fourth down said, I cannot bet. I'm going to bet, which of course apparently he didn't. Originally the play that they had called when they went to the huddle, called the timeout, and then came back to the huddle. Apparently they had called a different play. But I think Shanahan said, you know what? I can't rely on Robbie Gould to all of a sudden after 5 attempts, he's going to finally hit one for 50 yards. I'm going to go with my quarterback that's giving me a 50-50 shot at getting first down on fourth down passing, and also has 2 of his 3 completions are also for touchdowns. Now, I'm not saying that they would have gone for the touchdown on that play, but I don't blame Kyle Shanahan at all for this game. But all right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here for this week. But before we do, I'd like to remind everybody to join our Patreon rewards program for as little as $1 a month and as much as $20 a month. You can get special perks like 10% off a Niner Faithful Radio shop, an invite to join me on a segment of Niner Faithful Radio, and much, much more. Go ahead and visit patreon.com/Niner Faithful Radio. Go ahead and go to SeatGiant.com, use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio, all one word, and save on all theater, concert, and sporting event purchases. Come on. It's the holiday season. You know you want to go to that concert. You know you want to go to that theater show. You know you want to go to the Niners-Falcons game. Gonna go to SeatGiant.com and use that promo code Niner Faithful Radio. Niner Faithful Radio is on YouTube trying to monetize our channel. So to help with that, we've decided to have a contest where one lucky subscriber will not only win a ticket to a Niner game and come to Empire Row, the best tailgate in the league, hands down, but you will also get a ticket to the Niner Museum. To win, all you have to do is subscribe to Niner Faithful Radio's YouTube channel, and we will announce the winner the first episode after we reach 4,200 watch minutes and 1,200 subscribers. Shop Niner Faithful Radio shop for officially licensed gear from shop49ers.com, NFLshop.com, Fanatics.com, Target.com, eBay, and much more. Go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop or like us on Facebook and Instagram at Niner Faithful Radio Shop. Visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com to read all our blogs from Nothing But Niners, Sports Elite. Get all the show notes to all episodes. Listen to all our interviews with former Niners. Watch every episode of This Date Niner History. See what special promotions we have going on. And, of course, see our advertising and sponsorship packages as well. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, the like button, and go on and give us a comment on what you thought about the show. If you are listening to us as a podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Blueberry, TuneIn, or Cashbox, please rate, subscribe, and review the show. It really, really helps. To all you NFL fans out there who don't want to follow a page where the administrators all in your Facebook feed dancing and showing his man boobies, then go hit the search button on Facebook, type in NFL Savage Zone, hit the like button, and step your game up. And with that being said, I would like to thank everybody for tuning into this week's episode. I shall see y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.